Well, hello, Michigan. It is great to be back in the Wolverine State, to be here with so many friends, indoors, and overflow outdoors. But I got to tell you, my friends, we're here for one reason and one reason only. And that is that Michigan and America need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House. And it's really great to be here with so many friends. Thank you all for coming out. And how great is it to be here with the incredible Sarah Sanders? Isn't she something? What a great job. And I want to thank Chairwoman Laura Cox for putting this group together, and Terry Bowman, thanks for bringing everybody together for the great leadership of the Michigan Republican Party. And it's a real privilege to be in the home state and just about the hometown of the Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos. Done such a great job. In fact, I started this morning on Capitol Hill with that great House Republican conference. It's been standing in the gap. And I was there with some great Michigan congressmen like Bill Huizenga, Fred Upton, and Tim Walberg. And I got to tell you, it's a particular joy for me to be on the bus today, on the campaign trail today, just a little bit more than 11 months away from when we send a new senator from the state of Michigan. Let's hear it for John James, everybody. I'll tell you what, I want to be able to say I was for John James before it was cool. What an exciting, dynamic man who served this country in uniform and is going to do an incredible job when Michigan sends him to the United States Senate. So it's great to be here with a lot of friends, but speaking of friends of mine, allow me to bring greetings from another friend of mine. He's on his way over the Atlantic, coming back from London. And I got to tell you, when I told him I was going to be in Michigan tonight when he was in London, I think he sounded just a little bit jealous. So let me bring greetings and gratitude from a man who loves the state of Michigan and has been fighting to keep the promises he made to you all. I bring greetings from the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. Isn't he something? I'll tell you what. This President Donald Trump is a real deal. Says what he means and means what he says. He's on his way back, as I mentioned, from representing our nation at a NATO alliance summit. And thanks to the President's leadership, NATO is stronger than ever before. Our allies are committing more to our common defense than ever before. That's American leadership. I mean, this economy is booming thanks to the President's leadership. We set all kinds of records on your Black Friday and your Cyber Monday. Stock market is setting records just about every single day. And this year, America will be a net exporter of energy for the first time in 75 years. Wow. I mean, I think when you look at the last 3 years since Michigan cast that vote to elect the 45th President of the United States, I think there's only one way you can describe it. It's been 3 years of action, 3 years of results. It's been 3 years of promises made and promises kept. But we're just getting started, Michigan. That's why we need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House. it's amazing. Amazing. Think about the progress that we've made since that election day in 2016, which the president and I rang in right in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'll tell you about that later. One of the greatest nights of my life. One of the greatest early mornings of my life. But I mean, think about it. This president promised to revive the American economy, and President Donald Trump delivered. From the first day of this administration, working with Republicans in Congress, this president cut taxes across the board for businesses large and small and for working families. This president has actually signed more bills cutting federal red tape already than any president in American history. We've unleashed American energy. We fought for free and fair trade deals that put America first, and the American economy is booming. True. I mean, it's incredible. Since Election Day 2016, businesses large and small have created 6.7 million new jobs across this country, including 75,000 new jobs right here in the Wolverine State. Unemployment's at a 50-year low. The unemployment rate for women is at a 65-year low. And I got to tell you, it's the lowest unemployment rate ever recorded for African Americans and Hispanic Americans. The American dream is working again for every American. It's true. And it's not only more jobs, but it's also better jobs. Since Michigan put their confidence in President Donald Trump, the average American household has seen your disposable income go up by more than $5,000 a year on average after inflation. And I got to tell you, I mean, I see heads nodding around the room. The American people know it. I mean, they know what's happening across this country. Karen and I slipped away for like a day-and-a-half vacation a couple months ago. We did. We were out down on a beach near Fort Myers, Florida. We go to a place called Sanibel Island. Nice little place, good. I mean, it's no Mackinac, but I mean, it's really, am I right? No, it was great. It was really great. We were sitting on the beach. The local media had kind of told us, you know, they said the vice president is on the island, this and that. It's a very nice place. Anyway, Karen and I are on the beach. We got the ball caps on, sunglasses. We're reading some books. And a couple of big guys came walking by, big boys. They were wearing Budweiser shirts and walking down the beach. And this one fellow looks at me, and true story, he looks at me and he goes, "You're Pence, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And then he leaned over to me and he said, "Well, listen, you got to tell the president to keep doing what he's doing, because I made twice as much money last year as I made the year before." I mean, and I told him, I said, "I'll tell him that word for word," and I did. And he smiled and he walked away, and then he turned around after he'd taken a few steps and he said, "And I don't know what you do, but keep doing what you're doing too." And I told him I would, because it's working. It's working for American workers like never before. This is not only the best economy in American history, this is the best economy for American workers in American history. I mean, wages are rising all across the country. They're rising at the fastest pace that they've risen in a decade. But here's something that really means a great deal to the president and me, and it means to hardworking people all across Michigan. That according to the experts, wages are rising most rapidly for hard-working, blue-collar Americans. The forgotten men and women of America are forgotten no more. True. So we've got a growing economy because of the policies that Michigan supported and this president's advanced. But this president also promised to put national security first. After years of reckless budget cutbacks, I mean, literally, when the president and I took office, the Air Force told us that they had some aircraft that were grounded because they were being used as spare parts to keep other aircraft in the air. And the most powerful military in the world had been shorted again and again and again. But those days are over. We've rebuilt our military. President Donald Trump has signed the largest increase in our national defense since the days of Ronald Reagan. And that includes the largest pay raise for our military in more than 10 years. And with that renewed American strength, that strength you just heard Sarah talking about so eloquently, this president's also embracing our role as leader of the free world. We're standing with our allies. We're standing up to our enemies. As I mentioned, our NATO allies are they're contributing $130 billion more today to our common defense than they were when we took office. And under this Commander-in-Chief, with the strength of our armed forces, we've taken the fight to radical Islamic terrorists on our terms, on their soil. And when we took office, the so-called ISIS caliphate, with its unspeakable violence and terrorism, had overrun vast areas of Syria and Iraq. At the direction of this Commander-in-Chief, our armed forces took the fight to the enemy. And earlier this year, the armed forces of the United States and our allies captured the last inch of territory under the black flag of ISIS. Just over a month ago, I had the privilege to sit right next to the President of the United States in the Situation Room and watch in real time as U.S. Special Forces, at the direction of this Commander-in-Chief, descended on a compound in Syria. It was truly extraordinary and truly inspiring. And thanks to their courage and this President's decisiveness, the leader of ISIS is gone. They took out al-Baghdadi without one American casualty. And Conan, the hero dog, is just fine. It really is incredible. I met some of those very same special forces when I was downrange in Iraq just a few short weeks ago to help ring in the Thanksgiving holiday. I met some of those special forces back at the White House not long ago. Even met the dog. And some people said he took a liking to me. But I have to tell you, as Sarah mentioned, I got a son in the Marine Corps, and I got a future son-in-law in the United States Navy, and I couldn't be more proud to serve alongside a president who cares so deeply about the armed forces of the United States and their families. Our armed forces proved again the United States military is the greatest force for good in the history of the world. And we made them stronger than ever before. So it's been about a growing economy. It's been about our national defense, protecting America. But President Trump also knows that national security begins with border security. That's why this president made a commitment to end the crisis of illegal immigration in this country. We've made historic investments to secure our border. And thanks to the extraordinary work of the men and women of our Border Patrol, Homeland Security, in the last one by more than 70%. And we've already started to build that wall on the southern border of the United States. Oh, we're building it. We're building it. Don't you doubt it for a second. So it's been about border security, national security, the economy. In support of the rule of law, Remember when he was campaigning through Michigan, he said he was going to appoint men and women to our courts at every level who will uphold all the God-given liberties enshrined in the Constitution and our founding documents, and President Donald Trump delivered. 170 conservatives appointed to our courts, including Justice Neil Gorsuch and Justice Brett Kavanaugh. And I'll tell you, I've had the privilege to meet a lot of these men and women, and they are all principled conservatives who I promise you will uphold all the liberties enshrined in our Constitution, like the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, and the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. So we've accomplished a great deal. We've been able to do it because of the strong support of a Senate Republican majority. And we're truly grateful to Senator McConnell and all the Republicans. But I'm here to tell you, Michigan, we're going to be able to get more judges, more jobs, and more support for our military when Michigan sends John James to the United States Senate. Is that all right? So we're standing for the rule of law, our national security, the economy. We're standing for the values that have made this country great. In the midst of all those liberties and those values, I'll tell you what, I couldn't be more proud to serve as vice president to a president who stands without apology for the sanctity of human life. Amazing to think we live in a time when leading Democrats advocate late-term abortion and even defend infanticide. America today has the most pro-life president in American history. And I promise you, under this president and this vice president, this administration and this party will always stand for life. So Michigan, I came here to remind you of what you're not hearing on most of your major cable television networks on a regular basis. I mean, 3 short years, America's winning again. Michigan's winning again. I mean, under President Donald Trump, we've made America great again. We have. But to keep America great, we've got work to do. And we got about a year to do it. First and foremost, we got to re-elect a president who's been fighting for you every single day. And I'm here to tell you, I see it. I see it. I mean, I promise you. I mean, it is remarkable to think of all this president's accomplished and achieved in the face of historic resistance and obstruction by the Democratic Party. I mean, it's truly astonishing. I served in Congress for 12 years. I've never seen anything like it. I served on that Judiciary Committee you'll see on the news tonight for 12 years. And to see the way their divisive politics has overtaken everything in Washington, D.C., as someone who was honored to serve in the House of Representatives, it grieves my heart to see what they're doing. I mean, truthfully, the do-nothing Democrats in Congress have spent the last 3 years on endless investigations, all in an effort to try and overturn the will of the American people in the last election. I mean, it started 3 years ago. For the first 2.5 years, it was the collusion delusion. Remember that? I mean, until the Justice Department found no collusion, no obstruction, case closed, right? And when that didn't pan out, before they had any of the facts, they announced this partisan impeachment inquiry. I mean, what Democrats in Congress are doing with this partisan impeachment is a disgrace. I mean, and I don't know if you heard this yet, but I just heard backstage, the impeachment hearings today reached a new low. You hear about it? I just heard that at the hearing today, one of the Democrats' witnesses actually used the President and First Lady's 13-year-old son to justify their partisan impeachment. Democrats should be ashamed. Enough is enough. This sham impeachment should end, and Congress should get back to work on the issues that matter to the American people. Sure. Because, you know, it's not only a disgrace what they're doing, it's a disgrace what they're not doing. I mean, it's been more than a year since the president negotiated the USMCA. If it's enacted, it'll be the largest trade deal in American history. It'll create tens of thousands of jobs here in Michigan, across the heartland, and across this country. And yet the Democrats have been sitting on it for the last year as they pursue their partisan impeachment and endless investigations. And when it comes to our national defense, this Congress is on the verge of being the first Congress in 58 years not to pass a defense bill. A bill that includes billions of dollars more for our troops and a pay raise for our soldiers. It's sitting on a desk not getting done because Congress is spending all their time on a partisan impeachment. So it's not just a great trade deal to create jobs. It's not funding for our troops and our national defense. How about a highway bill? How about legislation to lower the cost of prescription drugs? How about passing legislation to help secure our borders? That's what Congress should be working on today, not working over the president every day. And the truth is that instead of getting all of that done, they're spending their time. They're spending all their time on this partisan impeachment. I think the American people deserve better. I think it's time for Congress to set aside their partisan politics and get back to work on the issues that will make America and Michigan stronger, more safe, and more secure than ever before. But I'll make you a promise. I'll make you a promise. You can look at the last 3 years, whatever they've been throwing at this administration. This president and I are just going to keep on going strong. Whatever they want to spend their time on, I promise you, President Donald Trump and I are never going to stop fighting to keep the promises that we made to Michigan and to keep America great. I mean, I got to be honest with you. Sometimes people come up to me, and it's all well-intentioned, but they say, just tell the president to keep going. And I say, you know, there's some things you never have to say to President Donald Trump. As we say down in the Hoosier State, all the reverse is stripped out of that pickup truck. It only goes forward, and we're going to keep fighting for the people of Michigan and the people of America. A strong national defense, secure borders, more conservatives to our courts, and more jobs, jobs, jobs. Over the last 3 years, this president, with your strong support here in Michigan, has achieved so much. But that's just what he calls a good start. There's so much more that we can do. That's why Michigan and America need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House. It's good. And think about it. 4 more years. 4 more years. Listen, 4 more years means more jobs. 4 more years means more judges. 4 more years means more support for our troops. And it's going to take at least 4 more years to drain that swamp. I can tell you firsthand. Everybody. I've gotten to know this president very well in the 4 years that we've been working together. I mean, some people think we're a little bit different. But I got to tell you, it's the greatest honor of my life to serve as vice president to President Donald Trump. He loves this country. He never quits. He never backs down. He believes in you. And he's fighting for you every single day. And now it's our turn to fight for him. Because the truth is the choice in this election has never been clearer and the stakes have never been higher. I mean, you just need to look no further than these Democrats running for president. Yeah. I mean, the list is getting shorter. It's like only 30 or 40 of them right now. I don't know about the rest of you. I had to watch these debates. You know, I figured there's a vice presidential nominee in there somewhere. But I watch these debates, I'll tell you, it's a little rough to take. I mean, that last debate I saw on TV, those people were standing so far on the left, I thought that stage was going to tip over. I mean, all kidding aside, folks. I mean, look, I'm a son of the heartland. All right. I mean, out here in the heartland of America, places like Indiana and Michigan and Wisconsin, and Ohio, Pennsylvania, I always used to say in the Hoosier States, it's just as true in Michigan. Throughout the long history of these states, we do two things well out this way. We make things and we grow things. And we sell them to the world. But I never thought I'd live to see the day. Where one of the two major political parties that have always had reasonable support across the heartland of this country would veer so far to policies that are out of step with the philosophies and the values of the people of the heartland. I mean, the truth is the Democratic Party today is dominated by left-wing radicals that want higher taxes, Green New Deal, Medicare for all, sanctuary cities, and late-term abortion. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, people out this way know that, what Medicare for all means is quality health care for none. You're not that far from Canada. Right? And the only thing green about the Green New Deal is how much green it's going to cost all of us if they ever sign it into law. But you know what's most remarkable to me is that today leading Democrats actually openly advocate an economic system that has impoverished millions of people around the world and robbed the liberties of generations. That system is socialism. And to this day, in places like Venezuela, places like Cuba, other nations around the world, it continues to have its ill effect. But I think the people of Michigan know it was freedom, not socialism, that made America the strongest and most prosperous nation in the history of the world. It was freedom. It was freedom, not socialism, that ended slavery, won 2 world wars, and has made America a beacon of hope for all mankind. I believe the moment America becomes a socialist country is the moment that America ceases to be America. So we must say, for all that remains of this year to Election Day next fall, as the President said in his State of the Union address, America will never be a socialist country. Got to do it. So that's our message in the days ahead. It's going to take all of us to tell it. And the truth is, it's not going to be enough for us to just win the next election. We've got to win the next generation. We've got to explain to all these incredible young people about what's made this country what it is today. and the ideals and the values that have given us the opportunity to live in the most exceptional land in the history of the world. So I know Michigan's going to take up the challenge. I know you're going to go out and tell the story just like you did before. And I promise you, President Donald Trump and I are going to be in Michigan again and again and again. But you got to make plans. You got to make plans. You get through the Christmas holiday here in the first of the year, and you get past all that, and then get ready. Because 2020 is when we vote, Michigan. And I'm told it's actually going to be never easier to vote with the reforms and absentee balloting. You can actually vote early next fall. Get it out of the way and then get to work. So get ready. Get ready. And remember when you make those plans to vote early with the new absentee ballot laws here in Michigan? Remember, friends don't let friends vote alone. Find a friend, find a neighbor. Once you get that out of the way, then I want you to do more than you did before. With your time and your talent, your treasure. Go get involved. Go volunteer. Go find some friends. I said before, I'll say again. It's choice has never been clearer, and the stakes have never been higher. I mean, for all the progress that we've made after the people of Michigan put their faith in this president in 2016, it could all be lost on one bad November night. So we've got to do what we did before and then some, because the other side is going to come hard. I mean, there was a president who grew up right here in Michigan who put it well. President Ford said, freedom is always worth fighting for. So let's go out and tell freedom's story. Tell Michigan that's the choice. Let's tell the story of what we've accomplished. Let's, in a real sense, tell freedom's story. And as you go forward, have faith. I'll tell you what, I'll never forget that night in Grand Rapids on election night. True story. I was off. I think I was in New Hampshire or somewhere. He called me on the phone, and he said, we got to go to Michigan. He'd done about 5 rallies that day. I don't know. I'd done about 3. I can't keep up with him most days. But he said, we got to meet in Michigan. He said, you go ahead of me. I'll come in behind you. And I said, great. So I jumped on the plane, and we came to Grand Rapids, and maybe some of you were there that night. Were you? Okay, you know what I'm talking about. I looked at this very same Timex watch when it clicked 1 minute after midnight, and I said, it's Election Day 2016, Michigan, the day we're going to elect Donald Trump to be the President of the United States, and you did it. It's amazing. But I got to tell you, so I gave some remarks, and then they signaled me backstage that he had arrived. I don't know what time it was. I don't know. Maybe it was 1 a.m. when he got there. And here you got thousands and thousands of people jammed into that center. Wasn't it fun? And this roar was deafening. And he went out there, and he spoke for like an hour. But he came off the stage to thunderous applause, and I'll never forget. It was the election, it was a long journey for him. And how great is our First Lady, Melania Trump? Isn't she just incredible? They'd taken this journey. They'd come down the escalator, and they went across America, and it was all the campaign was coming to a close. And all the polls, and then some said it was going to go the other way, remember? But we kind of knew different, didn't we? And he came off that stage literally 1:30 in the morning, and people are roaring behind him, cheering on the early hours of Election Day 2016. And he walked up to me, and he slapped me on the shoulder backstage, and he said, Mike, I don't know about you, but that doesn't look like second place to me. And it wasn't because Michigan stood up and sent President Donald Trump to the White House. So no matter what the other side throws at us, and I'm not just talking about the media. No matter what the Democrats bring in this campaign. I don't know about the rest of you. Sometimes I get up in the morning, I just turn on the television with a stick. I don't even know what's going to be on there any given day. I just want you to have faith. I mean, have faith in this president whose leadership and vision and determination have made this country great again in 3 short years and can keep America growing stronger and more prosperous. Have faith in our fellow Americans to look past all the pundits and the prognosticators and all the elites that tell us how things ought to be and how things ought to go in our nation's capital, and just be confident that when we hold the banner of freedom high to the American people, that just like they did in 2016, they'll rally to our cause again. And finally, have that other kind of faith. Have the faith that he who planted this miracle of democracy in these woods that would become Michigan and this great nation that we call the United States. It's been with us every single day from that dawn. It's with us still today. And that when we make freedom our cause, we make his work on this earth our very own. Because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's freedom. So freedom always wins. So I thank you all for coming out today. I got a plane to catch. I can't wait to tell the president about all the enthusiasm I saw in this room and all of you great people out in Overflow. Thank you so. Let's hear it for Overflow, will you? I leave here with renewed confidence. With your continued support and prayers. With Republican leadership all across this state and all across this nation. With a renewed Republican majority in the House of Representatives and with John James in the United States Senate. With President Donald Trump in the White House for 4 more years, and with God's help, we will make Michigan and America more prosperous than you could possibly imagine. We will make Michigan and America safer than ever before. And we will keep America great. Thank you all very much. God bless you. God bless Michigan and God bless America.